Mass Effect is a science fiction action role-playing third-person shooter video game series developed by the Canadian company BioWare and released for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Microsoft Windows, with the third installment also released on the Wii U. The original trilogy largely revolves around a soldier named Commander Shepard, whose mission is to save the galaxy from a race of powerful mechanical beings known as the Reapers and their agents, including the first game's antagonist Saren Arterius. The first game sees Shepard investigating Saren, whom Shepard slowly comes to understand is operating under the guidance of Sovereign, a Reaper left behind in the Milky Way tens of thousands of years before, when the Reapers exterminated virtually all sentient organic life in the galaxy as part of a recurrent cycle of genocide for an unknown purpose. Sovereign's purpose is to trigger the imminent return of the Reaper fleet hibernating in extragalactic dark space, restarting the process of extermination. The second game takes place 2 years later, and sees Shepard battling the Collectors, an alien race abducting entire human colonies in a plan to help the Reapers return to the Milky Way. The final game of Shepard's trilogy centers on the war waging against the Reapers. The next installment will take place in the Andromeda Galaxy and feature a new cast of characters. All of the first 3 major installments of the Mass Effect series have been met with commercial success as well as critical acclaim. The series is highly regarded for its narrative, character development, voice acting, universe and emphasis on player choice affecting the experience. Setting: Mass Effect takes place in a fictional version of the Milky Way, in which the galaxy is populated by several different species throughout its vastness. The galactic community partitioned the Milky Way into 5 different sectors, known as the Terminus systems, the Attic and Traverse, Inner and Outer Council Space, and Alliance Space. Earth is a significant setting, particularly in the third installment, and another highly culminating setting is the space station known as the Citadel. The fourth game in the series will see the setting move to the Andromeda Galaxy, long after the events of its predecessor. Gameplay: a trilogy of games has been released, each continuing the previous game's story in chronological order. The Mass Effect series combines action role-playing game elements, with the main series games being in third-person perspective. The protagonist can use 2 AI-controlled squad members in battle. The player could make perspective decisions depending upon the situation. At these times, the player has multiple sets of dialogue choices with which to respond to NPCs, separated by tone. Starting from Mass Effect 2, the player can interrupt cutscenes calmly or aggressively. The games often have various mini-games in them as well, such as drinking, dancing and romancing characters. Games: Main series Mass Effect. Mass Effect, the first game in the series, was originally created as an exclusive title for the Xbox 360 but was later ported to Microsoft Windows by Demiurge Studios, and to the PlayStation 3 by Edge of Reality. The game focuses on the protagonist, Commander Shepard, and his or her quest to stop the rogue Spectre Saren Arterius from leading an army of sentient machines, called the Geth, to conquer the galaxy. During pursuit of Saren, Shepard learns of a far greater threat in the form of the Reapers. Saren has been mentally enslaved by the Reaper Vanguard Sovereign, and sent into Citadel space to initiate the purge of all advanced sentient life in the galaxy, a cycle repeated by the Reapers every 50,000 years. Downloadable content: Bring Down the Sky, released on March 10, 2008 for the Xbox 360 as a paid download and on July 29, 2008 for Windows as a free download. Shepard is asked to deal with terrorists threatening to destroy a major human settlement. Pinnacle Station, released on August 25, 2009. Shepard can board the eponymous space station to fight competitively in battle simulations and, if successful, win a retirement home, providing minor in-game benefits. Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2, the second main game in the series, was released on January 26, 2010 in North America and January 29 in Europe. A great deal of secrecy surrounded the game prior to launch, with few details emerging other than Casey Hudson, project director for BioWare, stating that players should keep their save files, because decisions made by the player in the first game will continue to have influences on their character in the sequel. The game takes place 2 years after the events of Mass Effect. Human colonies are being attacked, their colonists disappearing without a trace. The game's protagonist, Commander Shepard, is forced into an uneasy alliance with the pro-human paramilitary organization, Cerberus, in an effort to discover the cause. Evidence emerges pointing to the Collectors, an advanced, enigmatic race of insect-like humanoids. Adding to the threat is the revelation that the Collectors are working for the Reapers. Shepard sets out on a suicide mission to stop the Collectors, accompanied by a hand-picked team of soldiers, assassins, mercenaries, and specialists. Mass Effect 2 has received overwhelming critical and public praise since its release, for its characters, storyline, voice acting, and refined combat and gameplay, with many critics calling it a major improvement over the original and an easy game of the year contender despite its January release. At Gamescom 2010, it was announced that a PlayStation 3 version would become available, which was released on January 18, 2011. Downloadable content. Normandy Crash Site, released on January 26, 2010 as a free download. Additional solo mission for Shepard, paying respects to Normandy's crew on Wreck. Zaid, The Price of Revenge, released on January 28, 2010 as a free download. Additional mercenary companion, Firewalker, released on March 23, 2010. 5 additional vehicle-based missions. Kasumi, Stolen Memory, released on April 6, 2010. Additional Thief Companion, Overlord, released on June 15, 2010. Shepard investigates a catastrophic AI outbreak. Lair of the Shadow Broker, released on September 7, 2010. Shepard accompanies Drive, Liara T'Soni on her hunt for the elusive Shadow Broker. Arrival, released on March 29, 2011, and acts as a bridge for Mass Effect 3. Shepard discovers and delays the impending Reaper invasion. Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3, the third and final installment in the Mass Effect trilogy, was released on March 6, 2012. Casey Hudson commented that Mass Effect 3 will be easier to develop, because we don't have to worry about continuity into the next one. However, decisions are routinely imported from the 2 previous titles to Mass Effect 3 in order to maintain continuity within the series. In the final chapter of the trilogy, the Reapers have returned in force, and have begun the purge of the galaxy, attacking Earth. During this attack, Commander Shepard is on Earth and forced to flee. After fleeing Earth, Commander Shepard must hurry and rally the advanced races of the galaxy to make one final stand, not only to save Earth, but also to break a cycle that has continued for millions of years. The first official trailer was unveiled on December 11, 2010 during the Spike TV Video Game Awards. Downloadable content from Ashes, released on the game's release date. Additional mission to retrieve an ancient artifact. Extended cut, released on June 26, 2012 as a free download. Features new cinematic sequences and epilogue scenes that expand upon the original ending. Leviathan, released on August 28, 2012. Shepard discovers the Reaper's origin. Omega, released on November 27, 2012. Shepard helps Aria T'Loak retake command of the Omega space station. Citadel, released on March 5, 2013 as the final DLC pack for Mass Effect 3. Shepard and crew enjoy shore leave and have to face a mysterious identity thief. Mass Effect Andromeda. Mass Effect Andromeda, the first game in a new series, and the 4th major installment overall in the franchise, was revealed at E3 2015. It is to be released in 2016. The title will utilize HDIC's Frostbite 3 engine and will be released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Collections Mass Effect Trilogy. On September 26, 2012, BioWare announced the Mass Effect Trilogy, a re-release of all 3 games in one pack. The bundle included a new premium foil box featuring artwork of Commander Shepard, and the multiplayer component of Mass Effect 3 was still available. The pack was released on November 6, 2012 for Xbox 360 and Microsoft Windows, and on December 4, 2012 for the PlayStation 3. BioWare has opened up to the idea of remastering the original trilogy for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Responding on Twitter, BioWare manager Aaron Flynn said, "We have discussed that internally." Flynn wrote of a trilogy remastery. "If we can put solid plans together, we'll share." Great to hear you're keen. Spin-offs Mass Effect Galaxy. Mass Effect Galaxy. This is a backstory set between the events of Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2 and exclusively on the iOS platform. The story is focused around 2 characters who appear as squad members in Mass Effect 2, Jacob Taylor and Miranda Lawson. When the passenger liner Arcturian Jade is attacked by Batarian raiders with Jacob on it, he takes on the task of defending the ship. After safely arriving at their destination on the Citadel, Jacob's former CO contacts him about an undercover Alliance operation in the Nemine Abyss to investigate the Batarians' increasingly aggressive activities. Mass Effect Infiltrator. Mass Effect Infiltrator, a third-person shooter released on the Android, BlackBerry 10, iOS and Windows Phone 8 platforms. The story for Infiltrator involves Randall Zno, a Cerberus agent, who discovers Cerberus's cruelty and goes rogue, killing Cerberus troopers and freeing prisoners from a hostile base. Players will receive rewards for collecting evidence of Cerberus crimes. According to each, every completed rescue and intelligence discovery in Infiltrator will increase a player's galactic readiness rating directly through the Galaxy at War system in Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect Datapad. Mass Effect Datapad, a free app for iOS devices. Datapad allows players to check the status of the Galaxy map in Mass Effect 3 and receive messages from characters. Datapad contains information about the characters, races, vehicles, weapons, and storyline of the Mass Effect universe, as well as mini-games that interact with the Mass Effect 3 Galaxy at War system. It has since been removed from the iOS App Store and the Google Play Store. Other media. Novels. Mass Effect Revelation, the first novel based on Mass Effect. The plot is centered around then-Lieutenant David Anderson and tells the story of how he came to know Saren as well as the beginning of his relationship with Carly Sanders. It expands on the history of the Mass Effect universe and reveals in detail how Anderson failed to become the first human Spectre. Mass Effect Revelation was written by Drew Karpyshyn. Mass Effect Ascension, the second novel based on Mass Effect. The plot centers around protagonist Paul Grayson, a member of Cerberus, who is in charge of raising a biotic girl named Jillian. It is set approximately 2 months after the ending events of the first game. Mass Effect Ascension is the second novel set in the Mass Effect universe to be written by Drew Karpyshyn. Mass Effect Retribution. On July 27, 2010, BioWare released the third Mass Effect novel written by Drew Karpyshyn, a sequel to Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect Ascension. Mass Effect Deception, the fourth Mass Effect novel. It centers on Jillian Grayson, the first book in the series to be written by William C. Dietz. Response to the novel has been negative due to a large number of inconsistencies with lore and characterization, prompting many fans to petition BioWare to disregard the novel as canon. In response to these widespread complaints, BioWare and Del Rey have announced that a number of changes are being made for future editions of the novel. Fan novels. Mass Effect Pick Your Path is a popular interactive fiction novel written by Mike Kyoto that runs parallel to the events of Mass Effect 2. It follows the exploits of an unnamed Citadel merchant who chases Commander Shepard around the galaxy to gain an endorsement for his shop. Encouraged by the elusive man for unknown reasons, the merchant becomes haplessly entangled with the dangerous aftermath of Shepard's various adventures. The story, considered similar to the Choose Your Own Adventure series of books, features the same choice-driven format of the games, allowing the reader to choose between Paragon or Renegade actions, drastically affect the ending, and even romance a selection of unique party members. The full story was published by The Escapist in March 2012. Comics Mass Effect Redemption is a 4-part comic book miniseries that was released between January and April 2010. The story, which revolves around Liara T'Soni, is set in the interim period between the prologue and main storyline of Mass Effect 2, and is related to the downloadable content layer of the Shadow Broker that was released for the game. Mass Effect Incursion is an online comic that follows Aria T'Loak's encounter with the Collectors 1 week prior to the opening events of Mass Effect 2. The events of Incursion link into the events of the comic miniseries Mass Effect Redemption. It was released June 21, 2010 through IGN. Mass Effect Inquisition is an online comic written by Mac Walters, taking place after Mass Effect 2. The plot follows Captain Armando and Bailey during his investigation of Executive Eneri Palin and corruption within C-Sec. It was released October 26, 2010 through USA Today. Mass Effect Evolution is a 4-part comic book miniseries. The first issue was released in January 2011. The story focuses on the origin of the elusive man and is set during the First Contact War, shortly after the discovery of the mass relays. Mass Effect Conviction is a free short single-issue mini-comic written by Mac Walters, taking place before Mass Effect 3. The plot follows Lieutenant James Vega during his stay on Omega before returning to Systems Alliance service. Released in September 2011, available through a digital distribution promotion exclusively at participating retailers. Mass Effect Invasion is a comic book series released between October 2011 and January 2012. It follows Aria T'Loak, the pirate queen of the space station Omega, as her station comes under attack from a new threat unleashed by Cerberus, the human survivalist organization. Mass Effect Homeworlds is a comic book series written by game lead writer Mac Walters, released April 25, 2012. Each issue focuses on a main character from the Mass Effect series. Mass Effect Blasto Eternity is Forever is a short single-issue mini-comic written by Mac Walters, released on November 7, 2012 through digital distribution. The main character is Blasto, a Hannah Spectre featured in several Mass Effect films as the galaxy's first Hannah Spectre. Mass Effect He Who Laughs Best is a short single-issue mini-comic written by Mac Walters, released on May 4, 2013 for Free Comic Book Day 2013. It explains how Jeff Joker Morrow became the SSV Normandes pilot prior to the events of Mass Effect. Mass Effect Foundation is a 13-issue comic series written by Mac Walters. The first issue was released on July 24, 2013. It features a story that runs parallel to the game trilogy and is designed to expand the universe as a whole. Films Mass Effect On May 24, 2010, each announced that Legendary Pictures and Warner Bros. Acquired the rights to a Mass Effect film, with the game's executive producer, Casey Hudson, as well as Ray Muica and Greg Zeschuk from BioWare, serving as executive producers. Initially, Legendary planned to produce the film with Thomas Tull, John Jashner, and Avi Arad, with a screenplay by Mark Protosevich. Protosevich and the producers have stated that the film will follow the plot of the original game. On October 24, 2012, Variety announced that Morgan Davis Fole would be writing the screenplay. Mass Effect Paragon Lost. On April 7, 2011, each announced that anime distributor Funimation Entertainment and Japanese studio TO Entertainment will produce an anime film adaptation based on the series. The film was released on December 28, 2012. It serves as the prequel to Mass Effect 3 and follows the early career of Alliance Marine James Vega as he leads an elite Special Forces squad into battle against the Collectors. Stationed at a colony in a remote star system, Vega and his soldiers must protect the civilians from a ruthless invasion by the Collectors, determined to capture the population for unknown purposes. Fan films Mass Effect. Assignment is a fan film set in the same timeline as the Mass Effect game series, but following a group of original characters. The film follows the story of two N7 soldiers, Mia and Hale, who are hunting down Defoe, a smuggler whose cargo is of great interest to a lot of parties. The film was produced by filmmaking duo Sneaky Zebra and marks the first fan film set in the Mass Effect universe. The film features the unique element of being interactive, much like the game series, allowing the viewer to choose the path of the plot of 4 possible endings. 3 character-based teaser trailers were released in December via Machinima, with the full short being released in February 2012. Red Sand is a fan film that serves as a prequel to the Mass Effect series. It is set 35 years before the plot of the games and tells the story of the discovery of the ancient Prothean ruins of Mars. The film stars Mark Meer, voice of the male version of Commander Shepard in the games, as Colonel John Grissom. It was produced by the students and faculty of the digital video program at the University of Advancing Technology in Tempe, Arizona. Action Figures. 2 series of action figures were released by DC Direct and Big Fish Toys for Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. Series 1 included action figures of Commander Shepard, Grunt, Tali, and Thane. Series 2 included Garrus, Legion, Miranda, and Morden. Each figure features game-accurate accessories and can be found in game and hobby shops and various online retailers. The figures tied to Mass Effect 3 include bonus downloadable content, which is exclusive and different for each character. Board games. Risk. Mass Effect Galaxy at War Edition was announced by Useropoly and was released in fall 2013. Art books. 2 Mass Effect art books have been released. 2007's Art of Mass Effect, published by Prima Games, and 2012's The Art of the Mass Effect Universe, published by Dark Horse Comics. The former book showcases the design, sketches and concept art which was created for the original Mass Effect game, while the latter includes art, sketches and paintings for the entire trilogy, including several pieces originally published in the first book.